Welcome to today's guide to Colossus P.U.N.K Tri-Spright. This deck is insane and can do so much. If you've noticed, we are playing a 50 card main deck. With all of the milling that we do, and all of the Runicks in the meta right now, I think this is fine. It was my friend Zeke that originally showed me his P.U.N.K Tri-Brigade list prior to his top 8 finish in week 3 of the Master Circuit series. If you haven't seen it yet, I'll link his interview over at HexLex's channel down below. Both are friends of the channel, so please check them out. After testing, Zeke added the Spright package, and soon after I added a Nemesis Colossus set. I just hated getting my one-off monsters like Deernote getting banished by Runick, so now we have a way to shuffle them back. Everything just works perfectly together. I know it looks pretty confusing, so I have prepared several duels to show you what we can do when we open with different parts of the deck. So let's jump into the duels. Let's see what we can do when we see our P.U.N.K Tri-Spright cards. I start with normal Zeomin, adding Foxy Tune. Discard Foxy and Nerval to summon Deernote, and then add Kit to my hand. Synchro into Chaos Ruler to mill 5, and Deernote summons back Foxy from the grave. Since Jet is a dark monster, I can add it to my hand. I overlay Chaos Ruler and Foxy for Zombie Vampire, and mill 4 cards from both decks. I just steal Shaddoll Beast since I didn't want them to have an extra draw. I also milled Kit, so I send Fractal to the grave to start my Tri-Brigade plays. I special summon Karis and 2 Sprites. I link into Elf bringing back Karis. Karis banishes 2 for DDL. I overlay into Gigantic to detach 1 and then summon Carrot. I end on 1 Ash, 1 Bounce, 1 Spell Trap Negate, and 1 Banish. And they disconnected. Now, what if we can't access the P.U.N.K cards? We normal summon Kit followed by Jet, adding Starter. Link into Elf to activate Kit's Rave effect. We send Nerval to add Fractal. I send Fractal and Karis to the grave. We want to load up on banished targets since we already have Nemesis Flag. Elf brings back Kit and banishes 2 for DDL. Now I summon Flag by shuffling back the banished Nerval. Flag adds Corridor. Corridor summons itself by shuffling the banished Fractal. I tribute Corridor and summon Colossus under the Elf so it can't be targeted. We finally start our Spright plays. I overlay to Gigantic summoning Red. Starter summons Carrot. So we end on Colossus, called by 1 Bounce, 1 Monster Negate, and 1 Spell Trap Negate. They open with Raigeki by Negated sending Gigantic. It triggers Kit's effect sending Nerval and adding Fractal to my hand. They set 1 monster and I bring back Jet, adding Smashers to my hand. I banish their set, and then it's over. This time, let's focus on Tri-Spright. We start by sending Kit to the grave with Foolish. Send Nerval and Nerval gets Ashed. It's very important that you save Called By for Max C. We usually do not care about a single negate, but Max C will destroy us. Starter summons Blue and Jet, adding another starter to my hand. I summon Red and overlay into Gigantic. I summon Karos and link into Elf. Elf brings back Kit, and it banishes 2 for DDL. After using Starter again on draw, we end on 2 Monster Negates, 1 Bounce, and 1 Spell Trap Negate. They summon Aluber but I negated sending Kit, which adds Karis to my hand. They attempt to use Foolish but I negated sending Red, and I summon back Blue adding Jet. They desperately try to allure, but they didn't draw Dark Monster, sending their hand to the grave. What if we can't get to our Spright cards? Fortunately for us, we have another powerful weapon, Naturia Beast. We start with the usual Tri-Brigade lines that will add Karis to our hand. I normal Zeamin, adding another Foxy. Special summon Kara, sending one Foxy to the grave, and I send the other Foxy and Nibiru to special summon Deernote. I synchro into Chaos Ruler to mill 5, and Foxy summons back Zeamin. We were unlucky with the mills. Karos banishes 2 for DDL, and we synchro 2 Earth monsters into Naturia Beast. So we end on 1 bounce, 1 called by, and all of their spells are negated. So our friend here has no choice but to just set 5 and pass. I drew Flag, so I special it, and it adds Corridor to my hand. Corridor summons itself, and I tribute it for Colossus. I link into Elf, bringing back Karis to banish 4 for Shureg, and then they try to use their spells, but it's all negated. Now that you know what the P.U.N.K Tri-Spright combo looks like, let's see how we can counter it. This is one of my favorite duels since we both used our decks to get into the top 8 of the Master Circuit series. I do not have any interruptions other than Imperm, but I want to save it for later just in case. Based off my current hand, do you see how we can out their board? I normal Kiss-a-Kill, summoning Lilla, followed by Carrot, and I link with their DDL for Goddess, which negates all of their monster effects, and we are free to do as we like. I use Starter to summon Blue and Jet to add Smashers to my hand. I overlay into Gigantic and summon Red in defense since I didn't want to attack over Kit and send it to the grave. I link into Elf to bring back Red, and they attempt to use Called By, but it gets negated with Crossout. They also use a negated Carrot to send Kit to the grave to get Kit's effect. They discard Foxy and Revolt to summon Deernote. They summon Karas, and I attempt to banish it, and that's game. Overall, I think 50 cards is fine for this deck, since many of our cards are searchable, and we will mill so many cards with the Tri-Brigade cards, along with Chaos Ruler and Vampire Zombie. I added the Nemesis cards with Colossus, since I hated it when Runick banishes my one-offs like Deernote. We will also be banishing our own monsters with the Tri-Brigades and Crossout, so this will help us shuffle back our banished monsters, and Colossus will prevent them from searching cards. If you open with the P.U.N.K cards, keep in mind that you can use Zeamin to synchro into Naturia Beast, Chaos Ruler, and Psychic and Punisher. Ash is also a level 3 tuner, but you need an Earth tuner for Naturia Beast. As for the sprites, it is very important to keep track when you use Gigantic and Starter since they will lock you into level, rank, and link 2s. Similarly, if you use Bear Brum to search for Revolt, remember that it will lock you into only summoning Tri-Brigade monsters for the rest of the turn. This deck is so much fun, and as long as Maxi does not resolve against you, you will probably win. If you do not feel comfortable running 50 cards, you can remove the aspect that you like the least. As long as you keep a Tri-Brigade cards, you will be fine, since that is what is holding all the archetypes together. Earlier in the video, I wanted to focus more on the combos that we can do, since when we go second, we will have to bait out negates with the less valuable cards. So I have prepared several replays of when I go second against several negates, Runick Spright, Runick Stuns, and Pure Spright. If you've made it this far, thanks for watching. Until next time.